Hi, I hope everyone is having a great day. This is another wonderful Friday afternoon here where I am. And I've been doing some deep thinking. I've been thinking about redirecting my life, which this happens usually probably every once a year at least, because usually during the New Year's time we all say, well, I'm going to make me some new resolutions, I'm going to change this or I'm going to do that, this thing or another thing or I'm going to do things differently, I'm going to you reevaluate everything, how I live, what I do, the things that my goals and plans and all of this. So when I did this deep thinking, I thought about each person's life, how when we were little, some of the things that we did that was directing us to the path that we're on now, the direction that we're taking at the present moment. And I consider the fact that a lot of things that we did when we were coming up, kind of influence how well we did in our careers, in our life, the choices that we made, the later choices that we made from the childhood developmental stage. And, we also, a lot of us, we brought along some habits and things that we developed during those times, some things we were totally ignorant about, and other things we just kind of picked up along the way, and stuff like that. And the main thing is both basically though is making our decisions, because when you're redirecting your life or reorganizing it, there has to be decisions that are made. We decide that, hey, things haven't hasn't been working as well as I would like for them to. Oh, that light is in my face. I don't like a lot of light in my eyes, and I don't. I haven't done any of the camera developing. Oh, anyway, the lighting and stuff should have been decided before I started the video, and because I really am not one that's going to be losing or wasting a lot of my time. I refuse to do it. I'm just not going to do that. Uh, I'm still dealing with some of this lighting here. I'm not exactly sure what's the best way to do it, and this should have been thought of before. But once I start speaking, and my thought pattern gets running. If I redo something, I got to re-say it and try to remember what I didn't say, and sometimes I'll forget and think I said it on the first take, because sometimes I have done a tape 2 or 3 times, But as I said, when you're redirecting your life or reorganizing it, usually we will make a decision, and that decision will be either we're going to keep doing what we're doing, that everything's okay. I mean, I'm safe, and I'm meeting my minimal standards, so that's good. I'm satisfied with that. Sometimes that's how we are, like I don't want to be bothered with this, and I don't want to be bothered with that, and I don't want all the responsibility of trying to do other stuff and trying to figure out anything. So I'm good. Pass me the beer. You know what I'm saying? And then some people may be on a pretty good path that they are developing some things that are working, or to benefit them greater. So they may be in college, or they may be on a new job, or they may be an entrepreneur who has just started to do something for themselves and say, oh, well, I think this is going to work out pretty good for me. So, I'm pretty satisfied. But the thing of it is, even if it's working well for you, still this, we always can do a little bit better. You know that. Whatever it is, whether we're on that pathway of finishing college or starting college or getting out of high school too, because young people are included in this because we too were young, and that's the main thing, what we did when we were young. So the younger ones now coming along, they too must consider, well, in my case, it just, take a, I know you've taken a look at me, and you probably looked 1,000 times because you have a video and like, oh, let's look at this. Well, her eyes, and look at them, she looked like her cheekbones, look her lips, well, but what about her teeth, what about her ears, just take that look now. Tell me, you don't have to tell me, but in your mind there, what do you think about me? What what kind of path do you think I came from? Do you think that maybe I had a little rough? And you can see it on my face, or see it in my actions, or see it in my behavior. Do you think that I came up with a silver spoon or a golden spoon, and had things pretty good all my days and all of that? Is that what you think? Do you think that I never got myself into a jam and thought, oh, no, 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 how did I do this? How did I do it? How did I do it? So, do you think that maybe I was always around those group set of people that had great, excellent morals and standards and professionalism and all of that good stuff? Just what do you think? I'll give you. I'll wait a second. Give you a second to think about it. Because I know you probably already thought about it and said it a few times. Oh, there she is again. But as you know me, when I get on my, I get in a zone when I get in my comedy type stuff and humorous type stuff. Sometimes I can do humor, going and coming. Other times, everything be a little bit funny here and there. But anyways, I'm here to help you see and understand what I'm talking about when I say redirected, or redirecting your life, or reorganizing it. When I was young, we had free spirits where I grew up. It was wonderful, because I mean, actually, my mother is a little, and some people don't like it when you say Indians and stuff like that. But I'm sorry, I am who I am. I say what I say, and I do what I do, and God bless you to do the same. Okay, so my mother was, I always referred to her as a little red Indian, and so because she was more, she was real light, real light. The newer Indians, because the older Indians were all different colors. They were browner and darker, and those are the original Indians. They really were, all over the world, as a matter of fact. But anyways, this is a little red Indian. So she had 7 girls, being a widower and a divorcee, and all that. So she had to raise 7 by herself. Now think about it. Yes, this is a lesson in this too. When you're talking about the redirecting, you're talking about looking back over everything from the beginning and leading up to where you're going now, where you're, trying to go, or where your level where you want to be. See, and this is, let me say this here too. And I'm interrupting my thoughts, so I shouldn't do that. I should just stay with what I'm doing, because it's so much goes through my head. But anyway, she could not. I'm not gonna do that. I'm doing. I should do what my Raph do. He turns to the left, or he turns to the right, and I often wonder what he does when he does Raph Smart, when he does that. But I think he probably is directing himself when he does this. So I'm redirecting myself at this moment here to say what I want to say about, like about my independency when being young. Mom a mother, a mama, as I called her when she was alive. Mama is mostly I refer to her as. She couldn't do everything. Just imagine a little lady, a little short lady, and I'm short, but she's shorter, way shorter. And so she's going to work, and she's trying to. She's got all these 7 chickens, 7 little chicks, 7 girls. And forgive me, I told you when I get on that humor thing, it doesn't end when I get in a zone like that. Okay, so but anyway, imagine Mama Chicken and Mama Hen going to work and got these 7 little chicks, and no one to see about them because people don't stop their schedule and say, "Don't you?" They don't stop their schedule and say, "Well, what I have to do is not that important. I'm gonna go over here and help Elnora." That was her name, Mama. And I'm gonna go over here and help Elnora to keep those children for her, because I know she's gonna be work all day long. Them kids gonna be running around and doing things. But don't get me wrong, they watching you. They'll watch. They're just not gonna dedicate their whole day to seeing about someone else's 7 rambunctious children. Okay, so that was freedom right there. Now, so the lesson in this here is in this particular part of my uh, speech about reorganizing your life. If you are in that area where you have several children, that's a real good way to a good time to. This is a real good time to consider how you've been doing with that, because it takes a lot to raise one, but you're talking about 7, okay? And these are, you're talking about a range from, I think we had probably like a 2-year-old, which is, no, she probably about 4 then, knee baby. And then there's a baby about 2. So you got a 2-year-old ranging all the way up to, let me see, because I was probably about 9, 10, 11, 12. No, there's a real gap between me, so 9, 10, 11, 12, about 13 and a 14, because most of them were stair steppers, but there was space between me, so lucky me. Bless me, okay? So, and bless us all. But anyways, so, like if you don't raise the first one real well, but then, there's a controversy about, having that one take on so much responsibility because of the way your life pattern went, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm trying to describe what it was like when I was little, okay? So, but we were brought up in church, so we did have a fair description of what is right and what is wrong, what standard is, and like that. So that's a good thing right there, to have a standard, because that's one of the points that one of them was decision, having making those certain decisions, for is making changes or redirecting yourself, So the other one is having a set of rules, it's having a set of standards before you, because that's really the number one thing. Oh, excuse me, and this always happens when I get on here. I think they do something in the background there. Y'all behave yourself and leave poor people alone, okay? Or whatever you are. Okay, now, so having a set of rules and standards is always the major thing. But the problem with that is not having a reminder. And so that's why a lot of people attend churches and various organizations, because that keeps them ever reminded of a constant reminder of the rules and standards that you're going to have in life, And so if you're a free spirit like myself, just free. My name is Birdine, and bird is, that is, to me, has always been a symbol of total freedom, because all the birds I've seen just seem to be so free. They didn't have to. I've seen them lined up, but I've never seen them lined up in a building or something, where they did it on a regular basis, They may do it in the cartoons, whatever. Told you when it starts. It starts, it don't stop. Okay. But anyway, me being a free spirit person, I could go and come as I please. But my mother, she that I, if there was a rule or standard, it wasn't quite clear to the seven of us. You know what I'm saying? Because the two oldest ones, they was gone. By the time mother hit that door, they was out in the street. But I guess nothing ever occurred to them like, hey, those younger ones, the 9-year-old girl, and those that are under, the four that's under, we better stay and make sure they are doing what they're supposed to do, and having something to do. But we didn't have much, so we was very poor. We just had a 3-room house. They called them shotgun houses back in those days, okay? So you got a shotgun house and no real standards set before you. So what do? You do like me. You go out, you pick some peaches, and you don't even worry about the 4 that you left at the house. You go pick them peaches, you come home, and you peel them, they may be even green, and you put them on the stove, and you start trying to cook something. And that happened, a few times in my house that I would do that when Mama leave, because I'll get hungry. And, because we were not even on a good schedule about eating. We ate when she, like she left, if there was some cereals in the box or whatever, she figured we had enough sense to go in and get them. Or maybe she just assumed that we, we would know. It was, organizing is another thing. Just being an organized institution, which is like a home or any place where there's more than one, there must be some defined details about how things is going to be done with the union of the little group, whether it's the one, even with the one group. Oh yes, because that's what we miss out at. Because we're one, we'd be like, oh, well, what's your that's nobody to tell me anything. There's no rules. There's no, yes, that's what we miss. Okay, so what did I say? I said rules and regulations should be before you, and I said decision making is constantly before you. Rules and regulation, decision making, a way to be reminded of the constitution that you have made to yourself or to that establishment or that group or the family or the house. Okay, it's very important. And now I'm having to put this together because what you're looking at here is pieces of information strolled all over the place that I know because I study all the time. And then there's new information gathered. Some have to be put on the back burner because I'm trying to make sure that I can focus in on the new stuff. Okay, so then there is, and that's where some of us come into writing books and stuff, because we want to, when we can organize our thoughts, when we can sit down and write out everything, perfectly clear, so that it will be plain that anyone could follow the pattern if they pick the book up. You understand? So there was coming up that, I had that freedom. So there was not a whole lot of organized way to say to do this or to remind me, except for that little Sunday school that we went to. But that, if you go into Sunday school too, there's just this, if you, unfortunately, if you have disorganization at home, disorganization at school, disorganization at a church establishment or whatever, all you have is just a bunch of unorganized stuff with some things that that directing you periodically, this direction and that direction, all that kind of stuff. You're not really having real order. And a lot of people don't really think about it, because that's what freedom really is about. Freedom is about not having to do the things like the way that other people do things, not having to be set by one standard or set of rules or whatever. You do what you do as you feel the need to do it. So I think somewhere along the way, when I was coming up, I knew some things, but I did not find a method to keep these things in my mind as I went along. So I broke quite a few of the rules. And when you break quite a few of the rules, okay, Dr. Burdine, Sister Burdine, Sister, whatever you want to say, call me. Um, What did you mean breaking the rules? What rules were broken? Okay, without being too personal and whatever, like rules of, like when we were coming, we knew as children that we should not commit fornication. We knew that we should not be drunk and rowdiest. We knew that we should not kill, and we knew we should not steal, and we knew that we shouldn't be lying on someone else, especially. You know what I'm saying? And we knew, not to take things that didn't belong to us, covered and stuff like that. And maybe all those rules may have gotten broken, in somewhere along in our life. And that we just, and the worst part about it is when we break one rule of life that governs us as a community, governs us as a cultured, organized establishment of people. It seems like it's easier to continue to break the rules, like if we're being rude and disrespectful towards someone, and we don't stop to think, okay, my attitude hasn't been what it should be. So let me take a check on this. Let me, let me go into prayer about it. Let me meditate about it. Let me just see what's causing this with me. Let me see, can I redirect this? Let me see, can I correct this behavior? Many times we won't, especially if it's something that we really, really like. Don't tell off on myself a teeny weeny bit, but not a whole lot. There was this particular man in college, in junior college. Oh, he was so adorable to me. He was so nice to me. And even if I called his name, nobody would know it hardly but him. And so I'll say it was Mark. Mark was very nice to me. And I thought he was just wonderful. But I was married. Mark doesn't even know this, and he probably won't even know this because I, I don't even know if Mark is still alive today because I haven't communicated with him a long time, so he wouldn't know. But anyway, Mark was of a different race, though, because and God says that that's not for me. That I cannot marry out of my race, or anything like that, because He says that I will lose my heritage. So no disrespect to anyone, but I love me some Mark. Mark helped me with my music and everything, But I think I'm getting somewhere off the point here. I got to get back to where I was supposed to be getting. Uh, I've gotten so far off the part because when there's little details about things, you kind of. I mean, when you have a lot of stuff to say and it's not written out, you will sometimes get off track. But I believe that I was trying to say that breaking the rules, breaking some of the rules along the way. And I also was saying that having these little constant reminder of staying on the right track. But anyway, I love that Mark, and that was kind of like breaking the rule because I was married too. Even though there was some complications in the marriage. This was early school, junior college. But anyways, I know what I was going to say. When you really like something, it's really hard to correct it. That's what I was getting to. And I really liked me some Mark. Mark was so good to me. He was so good to me. And he was just polite and everything. And I'd have my little afro like now, sometimes it cut too short, because when you cut it too much, it looked like it just stay short. But anyway, he would give me compliments and on everything. He was so polite, and handsome too, very wonderful person. And so I think I liked him a little too much, but he never knows, and he'll never know because he'll never know. He probably never watches my videos or see me or anything anyway. But he's a good friend. I consider him and he's in the ministry line as well as myself. But Anyway, if he does watch this, Mark, I really thank you, for being so wonderful to me. You give me a wonderful vision of the other race, because I'm always loving everybody. I'm just a person that likes to reach out to my people and help them because we've been so lost. And so as many others too. So in helping ourselves, we help others as well. But anyway, also, look at me just using my video for the wrong. There was a statement we made once. I talked to you about. We were talking about kids having bones and stuff, eating bones. You were right, and I was wrong. Children, you shouldn't give kids no buffalo bones and any bones in a fish. So if you do see this, I want you to know you were right, and I was so silly to say that that kids we should give them too much freedom or too much independence. That's not really good. That's not a good thing. We have to guide and protect them in every way. You were right, but anyways, back to my topic, my main topic, which is redirecting and reorganizing our lives. As we see certain things, like, let's give this for an example too, in redirecting, I believe that, excuse me, there's been a cross up in my conversation here, and I see it in my head, and that was that when I said that someone may say, "Well, what do you mean when you say break the rules?" And that was when we started on all of that. What I was talking about right now, just a second ago here, when I said that breaking the rules, like with Mark and whatever, like this here, and that when we redirect our life, we have to first look at it. We have to consider the steps and the or where we want to see ourselves. And most of the time, a lot of times in the past when we were coming up, and I always have to scratch when I use a video. I never hardly scratch like that until every time I do a video. I don't know whether some kind of little code or signal they put in here to make sure that whether they're controlling or whatever. I don't know. This is just some, Okay, so when we decide to redirect, because it has to be a decision first. Excuse me, before the decision, you have to have a vision. Actually, you got to be able to see. You have to be able to see there is a need to redirect. There's a need to do something better. You're not satisfied where you are. You're not satisfied. That right then, you're not satisfied with where you are. You're not satisfied with the progress that you're making, and you're not satisfied with sliding this way and that, and I hate didactic tones. I just I mean, religion can really get to me, even though I am one of the most spiritual people that you'll probably ever meet in your life. And so I want to, some people refer to it as, there I go again, and some people refer to it as backsliding. And which it is a bike. You're sliding backwards instead of going forward, because you want to be moving forward. And when you're moving forward, you can look at your daily progress and say, oh man, hey, I got this done today. This is marvelous. This is great. And you just you have something to celebrate. And so when you drink that, once in a while, a cup of coffee, which is just me, some people may drink it regularly, but anyway, point. Uh, you say, I kind of earned this one, I earned this one, so this is good. So whatever you decide to do that day that's special, I earned this one. Like some of the redirecting may be like you look and you say, wow, uh-oh, I put on 10 more pounds, and I've done this in the last 3 months. This is not the direction I want to go. So what does that tells me? That I'm eating too much junk, or I'm not getting the proper exercise, or I'm just being and I don't like saying lazy too, because when some people call people lazy, and then people could be sick, weak, and needing something help, and they just don't know how to get it. Could be a mental sickness, it could be a physical sickness, or whatever, and they could be just doing the best they can to slide along. So, like I said, I don't like a lot of didactic religious type stuff, because a lot of times, when we are saying and trying to figure out stuff and whatever like that, we are maybe not even really being fair to the people who are struggling, because until we are in the same position that they're in, we won't, we can't really say, how they are, and except we can just say we don't like what we see, or something like that. That's okay. But the vision, so I should have said vision first. Being able to see where you are in your life, then make a decision about it. Oh, no, vision should be first. A standard should be first of how you, because when I was coming up in school, our superintendent always said, have a line drawn, have something that you just won't do. And then, well, and this is what I like to add to it: have something that you will do. Like you're going to tell the truth about stuff. You're going to be honest with yourself inside, because if we're not honest with ourselves inside, oh, we're going to do some stuff and all kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not honest. We lie to us. Oh, this is okay. It's me. Like I said, I'm not bound by any rules and regulations. We should have a standard, because without a standard, anything goes. Hey, let's jump in the lake and do anything. Yay! Let's go and tear up somebody's house. Ooh, yay! No. I'm sorry. I'll catch you all later if that's what y'all decide you want to do. But if I was you, I wouldn't do that. Oh, let's go take something from somebody. Let's go steal a machine or something, oh, no. I got something better to do. So, in developing a standard for ourselves, we should also have in within that standard realm something that we're working on to develop ourselves to a better level. You understand? So that's a good thing too. Okay, so we're not only just saying that we are having a standard before us, because like all of the teaching and all of the learning I got, I didn't get what the Bible referred to as an understanding. An understanding would have had me to know that those rules that I was learning, build go rebuke visit those rules daily. Now I'm finna get the spiritual connection just hitting in here. It said, remember one of the prophets who put the rules on the doorsteps, on the doorposts, and somewhere else. It was 3 different places that where you could see them all during the day. So I would say those doorsteps is in our heart, in our revisiting of it. Find a way to revisit it every day. And many people do it by prayer and daily prayer. Because sometimes we just pray, and when we just pray the Lord's Prayer or whatever, and that's is sufficient. But for your details, you're missing it. You're not reminded. God, remind me. Put on my heart each day that I'm going to conduct myself with the standard of keeping these laws, keeping these